one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given as a leader was along the lines of this. As a leader, it's not your job to know everything and to do everything. It's your job to ask your team the right questions and then get out of the way and give them the space and the resources for them to figure it out and execute on it. It took me nearly 30 years in industry to figure that part out. But once I got there, I realized there's tremendous power in that. And while it seems really obvious, it also requires a lot of vulnerability and a lot of trust. Think about it. You as a leader have got to be willing to say to your team, I don't know, but I trust you guys and I believe in you guys enough to know that you can figure it out. And then you've got to get out of the spotlight and say it's not all about me, it's about them. And to give them the time and space and resources to actually execute, and then to celebrate when they do it well and achieve success. And if they don't, to quickly analyze and say, why didn't this work? Let's not get hung up on it. Let's figure out what we learned from this and try it again. Or readjust our strategy and do something a little bit differently. But to fail quickly and to move on and to celebrate those little successes. And again, what that really requires as a leader is to be vulnerable and to be trusting and to have that relationship to say, I believe in you guys, I know that you can do it, and I'm here to make sure that you have everything you need to get it done. And when you do, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. That took a long time for me to learn, but it was a really great piece of advice, and I'm glad I finally got it through my thick skull. There's a lot of discussion today around what is the role that leaders play in influencing the culture of their organization. Well, I would say that leaders have absolutely no role whatsoever in influencing the culture of their organization. Leaders are the culture of their organization. One way of defining culture is how does work get done in a given organization? Well, think about that. If you want to know how stuff gets done around here, look no further than the leadership, because people are going to do what they see the leaders do. People are going to say what they hear their leaders say, and people are going to move at the speed that their leaders move. So leaders are the culture of their organization. As we emerge from this pandemic environment, we have a massive opportunity at redefining culture. We have a really unique opportunity to say, how do we want work to get done around here now that we know what we know and what we've learned in the pandemic? And as we go into these hybrid environments of semi-remote, remote, or whatever the case may be, there's a huge opportunity to redefine culture. ILEC has developed some unique diagnostic tools and a fantastic methodology for assessing culture and bringing about cultural transformation. And this is one of the pivotal roles that an executive coach can play in helping leaders and leadership teams reassess and redefine what is culture and how to embody that and live that every day. Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, VUCA, right? How many times have we heard that term lately? Well, there was something I read not too long ago, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't exactly remember how it was written down, but it basically said this: in these uncertain times, don't manage a shipyard. Teach a class on the love of the sea and the allure of a distant shore. Think about that. If you're managing a shipyard, right, and you're building a ship, and you've got everyone assigned their tasks, and you're really focused on estimates to complete and estimates at completion and earned value management, and you're looking at Gantt charts, and you're looking at critical path analysis and regressions, and you're doing all these reports. You got daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual reports, and everyone's being driven, and then VUCA shows up, all right? Vulnerability, volatility enters the picture. Everyone gets frustrated and everyone says, man, I don't know if we can do this. I don't know if this ship's ever going to get built. And it's easy for workers to throw down their tools and say, it's just not worth my time and aggravation. And you fail. But on the other hand, if you've taught a class on the love of the sea and the allure of a distant shore, man, people know that, yeah, storms are going to come. Waves are going to break over the bow. The wind's going to rock us. We're going to have to batten the hatches and reef the sails and turn to, and we'll struggle through it. But storms pass. And when the storm passes, you have those days of tranquil seas with dolphins dancing in the bow waves and the breeze that smells of island spices and exotic fruits, and everyone's walking around the deck with a gleam in their eye thinking about all the stuff they're going to do when they get to that next port of call. When you've got that kind of vision and you've got that kind of passion instilled in your workforce, man, there's nothing they can't overcome because they're always thinking about that vision and that motivation. That's the role of a leader. Don't manage a shipyard. Teach a class on love of the sea and the allure of a distant shore, and you'll be able to weather anything that this VUCA world throws at us.